Welcome. How to realize that we are conscious beings called soul. Now, soul, the science of soul is not that difficult to understand. Only we just have to turn our perspective towards it. So, let us say, let us think for a while what happens after death. Now, the body, what we have, has been made up of 5 components of the universe, basically earth, water, fire, ether and air. And not only our body, everything what we see around is a combination of these 5 great elements. And something which is animating these 5 great elements is the consciousness, is the soul. Now when we say a person is dead, what is actually dead? The 5 elements are already dead matter. They are being utilized in some way by the conscious self, which has all the knowledge of how to utilize it, how to use it. So these 5 energies are already inert matter. They cannot function on its own. But what is it which is making it function, using it function for functioning is the conscious soul. So when a person dies, it simply means that the conscious soul which was helping in animate has left his body. The other elements which have combined in various forms are still remaining, are still present. And that is what once when we burn or bury the body, all that gets dismantled, and the space element gets into the space, fire element gets into the fire, and so on. So not only that, we have to realize that when I say that this is my body, it means that I am different from my body. When I say this is my book, it means that the I is different from the book. Similarly, the soul within us is different from the body. Once we understand this, the hankering for satisfying the bodily pleasures gets reduced, and we only use our body as an instrument, and for maintaining it properly we take food, we have clothing. So once that starts happening, then we are able to turn our mind towards the sufferings of the other living entities, the problems of the other living entities, where mind turns towards what is the purpose of this life. Am I going to keep on accumulating things for satisfying my physical body, which is ultimately going to leave me, which is not going to be with me together for a long time? So all this questioning starts happening once we realize that we are beyond this body. And once we start questioning these things, we are said to be on the path of spiritual reality of life. So there are various ways to realize ourselves. One of the ways is by reading the scriptures. The other way is by observing the outside nature. We see so many differences, but there is one thing which is not different, because we know in science it is said that if things are moving around you, there has to be a stable thing if it has to observe the change around it. So what is that which is stable, which is constant within us? It's the consciousness, it's the soul. Now the soul is the one which is experiencing the childhood, the adulthood, the old age, and the diseases what we experience, the pleasures what we experience is all being experienced by the soul itself. That soul is same when we are the child, when we are adult, when we are in old age. And once we realize that we are souls, then most of the problems of life gets instantly solved. The happiness and sorrows vanish. We are able to understand what our scriptures are trying to say. We are able to understand everything about this universe and nature. So the various ways given in our scriptures is by reading the scriptures, by attending lectures of the noble minded and the scholars, and by deep contemplation, by intellectual process, by service to the Maharishis and Sadhus who have realized their selves, and by experiencing the outside worlds and by experiencing the pains undergone and troubles undergone by the people around you, around us, we can get to the same stage. And the easiest way is by devotion to God Himself, devotion to the Supreme Conscious Self. So in the next um, topic we will discuss on the various paths of realizing the self. Thank you.